Hello, everyone, and welcome back to. I forgot to mute my laptop. I'm a pro streamer, I swear. Anyway, welcome back to Horizon Zero Dawn. Today, we're going to start the DLC, um, The Frozen Wilds, which is all the way up here. Um, it doesn't really have a set time of when you can do it. Theoretically, you can even do it after you beat the game. But I find that it makes the most sense to do it after Gaia Prime but before Meridian. Because that way you'll know about Gaia's subordinate functions and other. You know the most about the old world, let's put it that way. Yeah, let's go ahead and head up. Hello, Astrid. Welcome to stream. We're actually kind of advancing the plot for once.
What are you doing, Aloy? This path leads to the cut. The Banuk have nothing to offer besides useless mysticism. The Eclipse won't stand idle while you waste time playing in the snow. Return to your task.
Surprised you're still checking up on me. I thought you had moved on.
Well, forgive me for still being concerned with the fate of the world.
I was thinking, Banuk shamans thread blue cables through their skin, right? Kind of like someone else we know, huh? So maybe the real reason you want me to stay clear of the Banuk is to stay clear of your past.
It's not the past that concerns me, Aloy. It's the future. Or possible lack thereof.
Uh-huh.
Which is why you should stop prattling and get back to what matters. But as usual, you do as you wish.
Touchy.
I like that whole thing there where Aloy's like, oh yeah, fuck you, Silence. I do what I want. Also, I may not like Silence's character in game, but he makes a great evil companion. Because you can't trust a word he says. Even though he technically doesn't lie, he doesn't tell the truth either.
Got too much already.
He's always got an ulterior motive, and you know it. So being able to kind of like flip him off is kind of nice. All right, Scorcher. It's from Cauldron Epsilon. The override is locked. It's a very agile, dangerous combat machine with fire augmented melee attacks and a mounted mine launcher for range engagement. This is a Canid machine. Hi, Fluff. Welcome to stream. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a fox or a wolf or a coyote. Coyote, whatever. But yeah, its body is weak to ice, but for some reason, a machine named Scorcher is strong against fire. Huh. It's got blaze canisters that we can actually detonate by hitting it with a fire arrow. It's got a mine launcher up top. You can knock it off and wield it against it. And then on its butt, it's got a power generator. And if you hit it with an electric arrow, it goes boom boom. We can get blaze, metal shards, sparkers, wires, machine core, mediums, luminous braiding, scorcher lens, and scorcher hearts. Also, it's demonic. So that's another thing we gotta watch out for. Demonic machines. Demonic machines are more powerful and have stronger elemental resistances than their normal counterparts. They are a force to be reckoned with. They do not come from a cauldron and they cannot be overridden. These are sort of like the corrupted machines. But unlike the corrupted machines which are being controlled by Hades, these are not. They are being controlled by a different puppet master. And they're strong against shock and corruption. However, they're still weak to fire, so yay. Why can you jump so far? Yeah, it's a good thing we got the shield weaver when we did. Well, I know I'm coming. Oh, this all Scorcher fight.
Okay, that's a welcome, I guess.
You sure you'll be warm enough up here, Nora?
I've worked up a sweat from the climb.
Yeah, there's eight. Alright.
You made it to the cut, Outlander.
Not that you'll stay long.
Shows what you know. We're gonna be here for a while.
Smoke rising from the mountain. And the village, too. What's it for?
As we'll later learn, that over there is actually the Yellowstone caldera. In this game, Yellowstone never blew because, you know, we're still around, or at least the landscape is still around. But it is a lot more active, obviously.
Times like these, we must not forget the importance of service.
Who knows better how to lead than Artok? We must put our faith in him.
Must be something big going on. Most of the village is moving towards that smoke.
How many machines did it take to end so many lives?
Get ready for a rare sight, Nora. Bergrind, purveyor of necessities. Most of the time, the Banuk burn their dead. But not today.
Because the bodies couldn't be recovered.
Aye, a nasty business. All their best warriors lost.
Oh,
So
damn.
they're getting a different kind of send-off.
Now, if each of the tribes in this game, the four main ones, oh, say it after this.
Grasp your grief, my hunters, and kill it! For our kin sees the fate all Banuk long for. Falling with their spears striking steel. Their struggle is over now. You have witnessed their spirits rise up into the blue sky and beyond to the blue light. But our struggle is only beginning. Soon, we will again take up the hunt against the daemon that frenzies the machines against us. And so I ask you, can you summon the courage of our fallen kin? Will you fight and die as well as they did?
My courage! My spear!
Our blood is in your teeth, Aratak!
We are Banuk. Our enemies are prey.
The daemon. That frenzies the machines.
Machines that wiped out their best. And what do they want to do? Go back up there. Fools. A little advice. For free.
Aloy.
Aloy. I've been up here for 2 long winters, and I still can't make sense of the Banuk. Take this ruckus. It started with one of their shamans, Aurea, spouting on about spirits and daemons up on Thunder's drum. So they march their Warwick up there, and half of them get slaughtered by machines. When Aurea vanished, I thought the crazy might have gone with her, but no. Here's Big Aratak, gearing them up to do it all over again.
All right, so before I finish the discussion here, the thing I was going to say is you can roughly plot out each of the 4 main tribal factions in Zero Dawn with D&D classes. For the Nora, that's easy. They're rangers. They're, favor the bow. They're very much in tune with nature, but they don't really have all that much mysticism about them. They are very much your classical ranger. The Oseram are they're some of them are kind of like well, since they're tinkerers, I guess artificers. The other class they could probably fill into I don't know if I'd say fighter or barbarian. But they tend to prefer blunt instrument or blunt weapons or, you know, cannons rather than sharp pointy things. I guess it'd be a fighter. For the Karja, they're kind of split. Their priest caste would be clerics. And their military would probably be a mix of fighters and possibly paladins, since they put a lot of their religion into everything. The Banuk here, again, they're kind of split. They're shamans. Those are druids. Like, just straight up druids, but instead of communing with animals when they commune in nature, they commune with the machine spirits. But then again, the machines are basically the animals of this world, so it makes sense. And then finally, they're hunters. I mean, you might say ranger, but they don't really do much ranged fighting. They are more in your face. They're much more along the lines of a barbarian. So, at least that's my read on it.
Have you ever heard of a man named Silence? Tall, deadly serious, cables in his skin? Like a shaman?
I've heard that name once or twice, but always whispered. Like some boogeyman the Banuk want to forget. I'm not sure what went down, but I got the impression he messed with the Conclave. Or they messed with him.
Conclave?
All the most important shamans gather in Banur from time to time to keep up with the latest mumbo-jumbo. No idea how they all fit into one tent without those crazy headdresses getting locked up on each other. Araya's been to that shindig, but when I asked her what it's like, she just gave me a dirty look. So if you want to know more, you'll have to find her and make her like you, I guess. Good luck.
All right. Well, tell me more about the
What is it
Banuk.
about the Banuk you can't make sense of?
Well, everything's a test to them, a hardship to endure, a challenge to survive.
Seems like they don't have much of a choice in a place like this.
Yeah, a land cold enough to crack teeth, filled with wild animals. You think they'd accept a little reasonably priced aid? Well, believe me, I've tried to convince them. But a Banuk with
Isaac Kale, welcome to stream. Thank you for the 25 months in the Prime sub.
And Aurea is the one who spoke about this daemon?
2 years and
Told
1 month.
Artak and the others that it lives up on Thunder's drum, and they believed him.
But you don't.
Look, I don't know what Aurea found up there. A shaman's not going to talk to an outlander. The machines in the cut are getting more vicious, that's a fact. It could be because of the daemon, or it could be because they all got indigestion, for all I know. But Aurea's not around to explain. She took off, and no one knows why.
Is Aratak a renowned warrior around here?
He's a Warwick chieftain. His voice carries a lot of respect. Not that you hear much of it. Man talks about as much as a dead fish. But when he and Aurea came to town with their Warwick, it drew more Banuk to this little burg than I'd ever seen. You know what else I saw, Aloy? My own little trade route, stretching all the way back to the claim. Then, he goes and leads them off to their death at the claws of angry machines. So much for my best customers.
What's a Warwick?
What are these Werricks about, Bergrand? Some sort of tribe within the tribe?
Yeah, not like our clans back home. You don't get born into these things. They hold tryouts. Prove your best at something and you might get a place. Some Werricks come and go. Some last as long as metal. The whole Banuk territory, Banur, is just a bunch of the biggest, oldest ones.
I'm not sure if I'm less confused or more confused.
I don't know much
Here's the
about
truth.
Arc Raiders, so I couldn't
Each
tell you.
Warwick has a chieftain and a
What I
shaman.
do know of it is
They make
that
decisions.
Arc Raiders is
All
more of
well
a
and good, except the
extraction
chieftains are
shooter,
hard-headed, and the
which
shamans, they're
Horizon
the
Zero
robbers.
Dawn is not. This is a single player RPG. But lore, of course. That I could not tell you. Because I know nothing of Arc Raiders lore.
You said you've lived out here for 2 winters?
Aye. Back home, some fur traders told me about this steel forsaken heap of tents. Good location. Ripe for change. We were barely scraping by until this place started filling up for Aurea. A great prophet is coming, they said. I heard prophet. Honest mistake. Not that the Banuk are stingy, they just prefer to keep trade among themselves. We could get through to enough of them. We could really put this place on the map. Or at least on a map.
Who's we?
Me and my daughter. My assistant, Varja. My assistant and my daughter. We seem to get along better as business partners. Her mother wanted me to show her a trade. She started tinkering with weapons. Say, when you need a break from this Banuk carry-on, stop in and see her. You're both, how do I put it?
Women?
No. Independent. Look for her at Long Notch, the easternmost Banuk camp.
Alright, so about this Daemon.
I want to know more about this Daemon.
It's crazy talk, Aloy.
Or there's something to it. Something connected to how the machines behave.
Then you need to find Aurea. She was last seen headed for the mountains they call the Ice Rafts. I've heard only the shamans know the trail beyond those frozen peaks. But I do know where you could find her apprentice, Naltuk. He went north of the river, chasing rumors.
Rumors?
Not the good kind. Sudden attacks in the snow. Strange new structures. Some say a new machine, like no one's seen before.
Well, now I'm definitely interested. Thanks for the talk, Bergrand.
Don't mention it.
I wonder if
Among the
Aratak can tell
machines
me
who have
more
been
about
enslaved
Aurea
by
or
the Daemon,
Thunderstrom.
the best gift we can
Might be
give
worth
them
a shot.
is swift death. Frozen Tallneck is perhaps the most distinctive landmark in the cut.
Alright, so let's talk with Aratak here real quick. If I can find him. Yep, there he is.
I do not want to hear this talk from you again.
Try and sum it up.
Doubt
Tell
is
you
heavier
everything
than a
up
week's
to
snow.
Forgive me,
few
my
years
chieftain.
later, up to space
We will be
remaining.
ready for the next attempt.
Yay,
But this will
robots.
not be an attempt. It must be done. Do you understand?
My chieftain.
Kinda, Zakael, but also
Outlander,
not.
I suppose you wish to speak?
Okay, so the lore for Horizon Zero Dawn. In the throughout the 21st century, humanity shifts more and more into automation. And there's this corporation that's supplying everybody with the drones called Faro Automated Solutions. And he starts off with very green tech that, won the climate war against global warming and stuff. But he soon pivoted FAS into defense contractor. And he had an idea for a drone series, he called it the Chariot line. And these series of drones would be, or he wanted them to be the most powerful military system on the planet. And to do that, he wanted the three main things. First, he wanted the line to be unhackable, meaning that he used some sort of quantum encryption so that the only way it could be brute forced into being overridden is if it took like 500 years or so. Which, and since nobody really lives past 150 anyways, in this time period, who cares? It's effectively unhackable. Second, he wanted the drone line to be able to self-replicate in case, in case the client lost drones in battle for a licensing fee, they'd be able to use the Horus unit, the Metal Devil, to 3D print more drones. Also, they are able to hack any other robot or drone almost instantaneously. And the third major thing is, in order to extend their fuel lines and extend logistics support, because that's a good idea. Yeah, you haven't heard the worst part. In order to extend the drone logistics, the drones were to have an alternate method of fuel. They were meant to be able to burn biofuel and collect it on their own. Now, the intention was they would be using like dead vegetation. You want to know what else is biofuel? Dead animals. And if dead animals are biofuel, you want to know what else is made of biomatter? Live animals. So what the Faro robots eventually became was an unhackable swarm of robots that could self-replicate and consumed biomass for fuel. And then one of the swarms went rogue. FAS lost control of it, and they just started eating and making more robots. Projections came in that they would render the planet completely dead, no biomass at all, in 6 months. So, the American General Aaron Harris teamed up with Dr. Elizabeth Sobek to essentially create the only lifeline for humanity, Project Zero Dawn. Harris's job was to buy Zero Dawn as much time as possible, which is basically giving a railgun to anyone that can hold one and sending them off to die to buy time. Not my directive. I do not know my location. All I know is I must be. That's basically the Pharaoh plague in a nutshell. Meanwhile, Zero Dawn would create a fully functioning AI with different subroutines that would essentially shut down the swarm, terraform the planet after the swarm is shut down, and then reseed the biosphere, and then finally repopulate the planet. Because the old world generation died. All of Earth went extinct. However, Zero Dawn was completed in time, and Gaia, through Minerva, eventually was able to brute force the override and shut the entire swarm down. Then, through other various subordinate functions, she essentially sped up the process that Earth originally took when it was first formed to remake an Earth-like biosphere again. And then the current generation of humans are what we have now. But we're in like the year 3,000 or 4,000 something. We're a long ways after humanity's death.
There are other Weraks in Song's Edge too?
Yes. The village has its own life for all Banuk who need trade or shelter. After the war ended, it sprang up from what was once a campsite, quick as the bloom between frosts. Perhaps it will last, until the Karja seek war again.
Aurea knows about this Damon. Where would I talk to her?
She does a shaman's work. That is not for the eyes and ears of others. Certainly not an Outlander's.
This Damon you talked about.
If you are hardy enough, you can venture out and see the signs yourself. It has changed the machines, made them fiercer, stronger.
But what is it?
A matter for the shamans to debate.
Did your Werak come from this place?
No, he rallied most of our hunters from across Banur to face the threat of the demon. But I was born here, the state of Karja, when others retreated into the mountains. A few of my old warriors remained with me. Those who survived.
Megaphons, prehistoric humans fighting robot deaths. They're not really prehistoric. Granted, the Apollo function, which would have given the new humans all the old humans' knowledge, they still knew or were taught rudimentary things. This civilization has only been around, like, if this civilization was compared to natural human development, they'd be in, like, pre-Roman times. Like, ancient Babylon or something. Sort of stuff, but set in the Americas. But their tech level, thanks to the machines, and the kindergarten level instruction that they received early on, they're actually a lot more knowledgeable and further along the tech tree than they probably should be naturally.
You're set on going back to the mountain?
I put my word to it.
Even with the risks being so great?
The risk of what? Death? It would be a worse fate to bow our heads to the challenge and say too much.
All right, well, very well.
I guess that's it then.
Good. I prefer deeds to words.
Right.
Okay. So before we head up that way, we're actually going to go here. Because I don't like the fog of war. I like to have a little bit more intel with my intel.
Okay, if I want to learn more about how this daemon affects the machines, I've got to find Araya. To do that, I need to talk to her apprentice, who followed the river north.
I guess I can't. Badger. Uh-oh.
A Tallneck? What did it take to knock one of those over?
Alright, so a fallen Tallneck lies frozen into the cliffside. If they can repair the great machine, it might be able to retrieve the data from its head. Tallnecks are basically giraffes with AWACS radomes on top of them.
Encased in ice. Hopefully a long time ago. The scavengers have just gotten started. I can get out of this.
So while I'm thinking about this, stream number XX, we're going to be able to pre-order it. Let's get on the day. We probably won't know the release date until summer at the earliest. No, I am waiting for the pre-order too, because once the release date comes out, I'm going to ask for vacation for that day from work, so I can stream it on like day one, so I don't have to worry about spoilers.
last of the scavengers. Should scan the Tallneck. See how deep the damage goes. Looks like the scavengers ripped out 3 major parts. If I could bring them back, maybe I could even manipulate it. Get at what's inside its head.
Alright, let's go this way.
Not much gets past them. That seems attacked.
Alright. Scorcher. Firefox.
One of the Tallneck's parts. It's heavy.
Leslie.
All the winters. Coming at once.
Rappel down.
That was worth it.
All right.
Well, that fits. Sure hope it works.
All right. So next. Okay.
Well, it's in better shape than it was. Okay, I'm right. I just need to get the power flowing through it. And if I'm wrong, at least no one's watching.
If I'm wrong, at least no one's watching.
That should wake you up. Easy now. Easy.
Quick, grab onto the.
Right, it's never easy.
Okay.
I won't be able to take a machine that big down. I should be able to jump onto the tall neck from here.
Alright, so now we wait. I think after I'm done with the tall neck side quest, I think I'm gonna call it a stream. I know it's really been short, but I am literally starting to fall asleep. So if I want to be good for tonight's stream with Floof, I'm gonna need a nap.
Okay, time to climb up to its head.
Alright. That I'm gonna go ahead and head to this. Oh. Head here. Manual save. And like I said, I apologize for the short stream, but I'm falling asleep. And did you just fall asleep at a time? Kind of. I was waiting for the tall neck, but yeah, I did kind of zone out there for a second. So, we're gonna call it here. Gonna take a nap, and then I will see you guys tonight around 6 p.m. Central. Floof and I are going to be checking out some of the new Monster Hunter Wilds content. Namely, we're going to try out Arc-Tempered Arcveld. See how badly we get our asses kicked on it. Might do some other stuff, but anyway. And sorry for the short stream, but if I don't think anyone wants me to or wants to see me just kind of fall asleep on stream, so I'll see you guys hopefully in a couple hours. Good night.